Biden's first year in office, he's already nominated dozens of judges to the federal courts. Biden campaigned on undoing former President Trump's legacy of appointing more than 220 district and appeals court judges. Trump's 226 appointees made up more than a quarter of the federal bench, amounting to 30% of active federal judges. So far, President Biden has gotten more nominees confirmed than any president at this point in his first term in decades, the vast majority of which have been women or people of color. Our friends at 538 crunched the numbers on how President Biden is reshaping the courts, and senior writer Amelia Thompson DeVoe joins me now with more on this. Amelia, welcome. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
So what do we know about the judges President Biden has nominated so far and how they compare to those appointed by previous presidents?
So it's an incredibly diverse slate of judges on a bunch of different metrics. So, of course, they're racially diverse. The judges who have been confirmed so far, there are 42 of them at this point, are overwhelmingly likely to be people of color. They're also overwhelmingly likely to be women. And that's a big deal because those judges who President Trump appointed were much more likely to be white men. So Biden is clearly prioritizing his promise to diversify the courts, and he's delivering in terms of racial and gender diversity in his picks so far.
And Amelia, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki yesterday noted that the president has also nominated the highest level of Ivy League nominees. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, so I mean, that was another striking finding in our results, that these are incredibly pedigreed people. They're coming from a very high proportion are coming from Ivy League schools. A very high proportion also went to top 14 law schools. And there are a couple ways to look at this. I mean, one is that it's just getting harder and harder to become a federal judge, and the expectation that you'll have gone to a very good school and sort of gone through a particular path is higher and higher. The other, though, is that people of color and women are held to a much higher standard in the legal profession. And I think we're already starting to see this with some people questioning the potential qualifications of Biden's nominee. You know, it's certainly understandable why the Biden administration would want to point at their nominees and say, look, this person has gone to the best schools in the country. They've checked all the boxes. They're an incredibly accomplished jurist. Why would you oppose putting this person on the Supreme Court or on the federal bench?
So if the president wants to undo his predecessor's legacy, he has to flip some conservative seats, not just replace liberal judges with other liberal judges. Is he doing that?
He's starting to do that now. So when we analyzed the numbers, we found that in his first year, he was overwhelmingly filling seats in blue parts of the country and largely filling Democratic appointed seats with obviously another Democratic appointee. That's starting to change now. One thing that did happen was that a lot of Democratic appointed judges resigned or took senior status early in Biden's presidency. So he had more of those seats to fill, but he now is starting to fill some seats in red states. And, you know, the speed at which he does that is going to be important because it's not clear how much longer the Democrats will have control of the Senate. And obviously they're going to have a Supreme Court confirmation hearing to deal with as well. So I know that court watchers are going to be paying attention and seeing whether Democrats are continuing to prioritize lower court appointees at the speed that they have been so far, even with obviously a much higher profile confirmation hearing happening.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, Amelia Thompson DeVoe, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.